we'll pay tribute to Faith, the rescue dog.
On the next Grateful Rescue TV.
Everybody that met her loved her.
She loved children. She was so wonderful to children.
Faith will miss you.
Faith will miss you and always keep you with us.
And welcome to Grateful Rescue TV. I'm Pamela Terhune with my dear co-host Patty Spittler.
Oh,
and dear Stewie, of course.
This is a very special show that Pamela has for you today. We're talking about Faith, and Faith, of course, was the soul, the heart of the Grateful Rescue.
She was.
Before we go into what happened with Faith, tell me a little bit about her. What did she give to you and the organization?
Well, as you know, Faith came from Best Friends Sanctuary in Utah, and we brought her home right about the same time we were starting to form Grateful Rescue. Right. And so she just stepped right into the role and became our mascot for Grateful Rescue.
Yes, and we're taking a look right now over here at Faith,
with us.
And Faith has passed just recently. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I love her.
And she's with you again. Oh gosh, you're gonna get me doing it. Faith passed recently. She was only 4 years old. What happened?
Well, she had a mass on her abdomen, and we had it removed. And then a little bit later, we found out that it had already spread into all of her upper cavities, and it was occupying her lungs. And so he had given her about 3-4 weeks to live.
Wow.
And she lived 5 after that.
And thank you again for letting me come over to see her as well.
Patty, she loved you. She loved you. I'll never forget the time we were at the Cornerstone event, and you visited for a while when we had Nathan Lowe there. And as soon as you left, she went and lay right beside the door and stared at the door for the longest time before she realized Patty's not coming back to the door. So she adored you, and I know you loved her.
No, we all know how hard it is when a pet is passing that we loved. I mean, I went recently with Mabel through it, and it's really, really difficult. How are you coping?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You did everything you could. So
I did, and she had a peaceful passing. We thank God for Red Key veterinarian Zach Wasson, Dr. Zach Wasson. He had scheduled to come and put her to rest at home. So the night before, we were up all night long. It's almost like she knew. Neither one of us slept. We were up, and she sat on my lap, and she occupied all my lap, and I just stroked her and told her how much I love her, and she seemed to know. Everybody loved her.
she was very sweet.
When we found out, we were. It was a couple days before we let our followers know, because we were grieving. It was like brought me to my knees, and then when we did, I couldn't believe all the people who reached out. I mean, we had visitors one after another that wanted to visit Faith, and they sent her flowers and treats. You brought her treats and blankets because she loved blankets. So she knew she was special, and she was so loved.
That's great.
And that's a wonderful gift. That's the heart of grateful.
Yeah.
And we are so grateful.
Okay. So there's her picture, and there she is. Those are her ashes, correct?
It
In the
is.
box over there.
It is. I know.
We should have brought some tissue, Dawn. Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, I know. I kept thinking I could be strong, but sometimes, and it took me about 3 days before I could break down, and it was because one of the dogs jumped up on my lap, and I thought I'll never have her to jump on my lap again.
Yeah, that was a big dog to jump on the lap. Okay.
Thank you.
We're paying honoring Faith today on Grateful Rescue TV. So stay there.
This is Faith, one big loving puppy. There's going to be quite a welcoming committee when Pam gets up there.
What I know is that she's here for a lot of people.
Yes. And everywhere she went, of course, she drew a lot of attention and was always very welcoming. People wanted to come up and hug her and pet her, and children and everyone. And she was just a loving, loving spirit, and let that all happen. I can't say I would be so giving.
Walking in here for the first time with her not here, she's absent, even though I just said, you know, she's here. But having her physical presence not here is big. The room is different with no Faith.
I agree.
She was always real sweet. She was kind of, I don't know, she wasn't very energetic most of the time, but she was really sweet. She laid around a lot, and like whenever she would climb up on the bed, she would like sit on you. It was really sweet.
And she just puts her face like right like this. And you think she's not staring at you because her head's this way, and then when you look, the eyes are around here, and she's got a bead right on you. She would hold that pose for 5 minutes or more.
She loved children. She was so wonderful to children and to kitties. I remember how she'd go up to little kitty cats and love on them, and just, it was precious, her expressions.
You know, she got that second chance, and that's what Grateful Rescue is all about, second chances for some of these animals that had bad experience where the humans disappointed them, and now it's time to get a second chance and have a good life.
Absolutely.
I see her more as an icon of everything that this place stands for, because it's all about, I mean, gratitude, you know, Grateful Rescue, but it's all about, Pamela especially has a heart this big, and I think Faith matched that. So I think there's a whole lot of the breadth of outreach that she represents for Grateful.
She could wear a tutu like nobody's business. She could rock a tutu.
Yeah, she wasn't just, well, maybe she had grace, but I don't know exactly whether or not she was graceful.
Yeah.
And she loved to beat me to that seat and sit down, and just then I'd have to coax her off of it. She would always, after she'd had her fun, jump down, but she seemed to get a kick out of that.
The short time she was here, that she made a lasting impression on everybody, and that everybody that met her loved her. So just to tell her that we all love her and miss her.
Faith will miss you.
Faith will miss you and always keep you with us.
So joining us right now are two very special ladies from Best Friends Animal Sanctuary, Terry and Meryl. These two lovely ladies are the ones who found Faith on that fateful day. Please tell me your whole experience with Faith and that special day you found her.
A nice lady pulled up in a car, flagged me down and asked if I could help. And I looked at the back of her car, and there was a very emaciated Wednesday or Faith in the back of the car, very emaciated dog, who was very happy to see people, but really did look to be in very poor shape. Faith very quickly and easily got out of the lady's car and jumped right into my back seat, which was very sweet. And I do remember that it was a very special moment, in that I knew once she was in my car that she was safe. She was very lucky to have made it to the sanctuary, because not all dogs find themselves in that situation. And so once she was there, she was safe. And I remember telling her, as I took her up to the dog town department, I remember telling her that she was safe and she was going to be okay.
Oh, so was she sweet from the start? Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
now?
Even as stinky as she was in the back of my car, She stunk to high heaven. She was dirty and muddy, but she was sweet, and her little tail was wagging, and she was happy to see everybody, and she didn't have a mean bone in her body.
The Dogtown team took over. It was up to them to decide what the dog needed. But once she got into admission, she would come into the Dogtown headquarters behind our administrator assistant's desk, and that's where all the dogs that needed the little TLC, the extra loving, would come. So we all got to spend time with Faith when she was there. She was very popular, and everybody wanted to go behind the desk and pet her.
It is the number one sanctuary in the United States, and it's a destination. It's an experience. Aside from all the love and all the animals that are being saved there, just the whole experience. I know so many people who take their vacations there, their honeymoons there. They take their, they go and stay a week at a time to volunteer. And that's how wonderful it is. If I thank you from the bottom of my heart, you changed my life, not only Faith's life. And it meant so much to have you two here today to share this experience with us.
Continuing on now with the Grateful Rescue TV, Pamela Terhune, the owner and founder of the rescue and Faith's owner. We're paying tribute to Faith, the heart and soul of the show and your rescue. And she had some very special talents. She liked all the attention from people reading to her. Tell us about this.
She did, as a part of our Wag the Dog Readers program. That's a program where children read to dogs.
So she liked kids too.
She loved kids. She loved everybody.
Today is a big pet show, big voice. It is at the Tate School. It's in Miss Hale's class. Okay, page 3, friends. Gail came with pet fish. Shane came with his dog.
And we're here at Westdale Elementary with Mrs. Gina Charles, first grade teacher here, and she's been participating in our Wag the Dog Readers program.
Well, this is my second year to have my first graders participate in the program. I'm a real big advocate of it. I love dogs, and I know most children this age love animals, particularly dogs, so it just seemed like a natural fit. They would practice their reading and at the same time interact with a dog. Mm-hmm. So it seemed like a natural choice to me.
Well, and do you feel like they have more excited nature on the dog days?
Yes, and what's interesting to me is how they take it so serious.
Oh, they do?
They do,
yeah.
And they think, I mean, they can read to me and it's like not that big a deal, I guess, but when they're reading to the dog, for some reason, they think it's very important, and I can tell they're very attentive and they want to do their best.
Here's where it all started. At Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab, Utah. We were there for a week-long training course on how to open and operate an animal sanctuary. She was here at Dogtown. My heart melted when I saw her for the very first time. I never wanted to forget that face. She had only recently been brought into Best Friends, cold, wet, and emaciated. They named her Wednesday, the day on which she was found. During the course, several different dogs were brought in for demonstrations. All of a sudden, there she was, my doggie in the window. She walked in, locked eyes with me, and leapt into Mike's arms. She chose us. At that moment, we decided we were going to adopt her. We changed her name to Faith, after Faith Maloney, a founder of Best Friends who also taught the course we were taking. We began taking her out for walks. We stayed an extra day after the course so that we could spend the day with her.
Going home? Are we gonna go home? Yes, we are. Oh, you're good. You're a good girl. You want a treat? Oh, yes.
Still needing medical care, she couldn't leave with us. It was so hard to leave her. But it wasn't goodbye. It's see you later. She arrived home a month later and our life with Faith began. Patty Spittler invited us onto Pep House TV to talk about best friends and to introduce Faith as our mascot. She attended galas, festivals, and other events. Everyone loved Faith, and she loved everyone. She loved going on walks and always began each walk with a roll in the grass. She loved car rides. She loved being on the sofa with her blankets. And although we were told when we adopted her that she was not dog-friendly, she loved all of our dogs. She loved her family. She loved visitors and had many visitors, especially in her final days. She enjoyed every minute of it. Faith passed peacefully at home on Saturday, June 3rd, 2023. She'll be so missed by so many, but her legacy will live on forever at Grateful Rescue. My baby girl, it's not goodbye, it's see you later.
Continuing with our tribute to Faith, and now it is a blessing if you're going through a trying time and you have your mom to talk to.
Oh yes, my mother. My mother's my best friend, Patty. I love her so much, and she loved Faith also.
Of course.
And Faith loved her, and she was a lot of strength for me during Faith's passing. She called me the night before, and I cried to her, and she was with me right after. And she recently sat down and shared some of her thoughts about my silly love forever, that I've always been like this, of animals.
And here you go.
This is my mother, my dear mother and best friend.
Yes, that's true.
Peggy. The one who has nurtured my dog habit through many, many years.
Ever since she was small and just walking out of the house, she would have a dog right behind her. She would bring him in the house and play with him for a while, and then feed him, and then go outside and play with him. It would surprise me if she didn't have him back in.
And Faith loved Mom. Faith loved Mom. I've got photos of Faith with her head curled up into your neck, and she'd put her paws up on your lap and want to get right up in your space, didn't she?
Yeah, every time I would come over here, I'd come right in here and sit down with her, and she just put her head right over on my legs.
She did love you.
Yeah, I sure loved her too. I have a German Shepherd that I loved, but it never got me near as bad as Faith got her. I knew the minute she told me that he was gone, I knew that it was going to be tough, because she really loved him. And but she's a lover on animals.
Yeah, Faith was like no other dog we've had. I mean, I love them all. I always love them. I always want to keep them all. But there was nobody like Faith. I don't know, there was something magical about her. Yeah. She had this spirit that she connected with everybody. She loved everybody. She loved her life. I think that whenever she joined our family and she then eventually joined the rescue as our mascot, and she would go out to events, and she would just wander around and greet everybody and then go to the next person and greet. It was almost like she knew she was the ambassador of Grateful Rescue, and she wore that crown proudly.
Yeah.
I loved her. We all did.
Yeah, everybody, when they would come over, that's the first thing, well, how's Faith doing? Where's Faith?
There would actually be adoptions where someone would come for another dog, but they would want to see Faith while they were here, and they would be taking pictures of Faith instead of the dog. They were there for the meet and greet. They wanted to see Faith. So she touched a lot of hearts.
Well, we'll honor Faith. We will continue to honor her, and she will always be the first mascot of Grateful Rescue, and I think her memory will live forever. I know there will be, when we expand, we'll have something big honoring Faith.
Yeah.
Maybe the chapel. Maybe we'll call it Faith Chapel.
That would be cool.
Yeah, big white chapel, just like Faith.
And her smile. Oh,
I love you, Mom.
I love you, Pam.
Thank you for putting up with my dog habits all these years.
Oh, you know I don't mind it.
So this is Faith. Faith is the mascot of Grateful Rescue. We got her at Best Friends Sanctuary in Kanab, Utah, when my husband Mike and I were down training for how to open and operate your sanctuary.
Hi, sweetheart. Do you remember me? Oh, smell. Yeah. Oh, there's Daddy. Yeah, yeah.
The minute I saw Faith, my husband and I had already been aware that you can adopt from Best Friends, but we had decided that we have enough and we were not going to adopt. But when we saw her in the window, she looked so sad, and she had this big head and tiny body, and we took photos of her actually that day. And then a little bit later in a training program, when they were showing how they do behavior assessments, they brought Faith in, and my husband and I looked at each other and said, "Oh my gosh, it's that dog." And the funny thing is, it was a full class, and she chose us. She's about 5 years old now. When we got her, she was skin and bones at the canyon. And as you can see, she's not anymore. She's a boxer bulldog mix. And just recently, we had her in to get a tumor removed off of her abdomen. And a few days ago, she wasn't acting well, and we took her to the vet. And we got some sad news that her tumors have spread. They're occupying more than 50% of her lungs. And in her upper chest cavity. And so we had hoped that she maybe had a little bit of time. And she does have just that, a little bit of time. The doctor says she's got about 2 to 4 weeks to live. So we've been sobbing about it and giving her all the love we can. I will miss her love and her soulful looks. She loves me so much. And she's become a lap dog lately. She crawls up on a recliner with me, and I feel like I'm her whole world. And I'm gonna miss the love that she gives. It's gonna be a huge void. We know that the end is near, and when we announced that Faith had a terminal diagnosis, we got so many blankets and toys and cards and all kinds of things, sending love to her. And visitors, she's had so many visitors. And we just want to let you know that we thank you so much for that, and we appreciate you more than words can tell. She's getting a little tired. We know that the end is coming. She's always had droopy eyes, but they're a little droopier, and her breathing's increasing. And we're not going to let her suffer. She still enjoys treats. You want a treat? Yep. She still likes her treats. And she still likes to go outside, and she still wags her tail, but her breathing's bad. And so we're gonna watch that and see to it that she's gonna be okay. So thank you so much, everybody, for all the support and all the love you've given Faith over the last few years. I know a lot of you have met her in person and at the events and shows and stuff. And she appreciates that, don't you? Yes. You want to give me your paw? Hmm? Yes. We love you. Thank you so much.
Grateful Rescue TV, we thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget, go to the website to get some more information, some great stories, gratefulrescue.org, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And we will close with a sweet reading, a Facebook Nook with Zayden and Jacob, my grandson.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
And thanks for all the support to everyone who loved Faith.
We love Faith.
What if everything were exactly the same? Our houses, our cars, and even the stars. What if our food were all the same? No meats, no sweets. Just beets. Animals aren't all the same, giving them each quite a unique name. Some are big and some are small, and some have feathers or no fur at all. Some have 2 legs for legs, or none. But their differences help make the world more fun. People come in different shapes and sizes, and that's what makes us full of many surprises. We can have short hair, long hair, or no hair at all. Some could be really short while others are really tall. We can be friends with all types of people and see the amazing things each of us brings. Everyone is unique in more ways than one, and that's what makes everything very fun. Different is good, different is exciting. Anything else would be uninviting. We come in different lengths and also have different abilities and strengths. Some take a hike and like to bike, while some couldn't use their legs and use a walking aid. They can still play, and new friends can be made. I'm so sloppy. Even though we may have different hair, eyes, and skin, we can all be friends and change how things have been. Different can be wonderful and even quite colorful. Different is certainly beautiful. Anything else would be unsuitable. If we are all the same, don't you think it'd be lame? You may be different from those around you, but remember this fact, that is simple and true. Your beautiful face can't be replaced, and our differences should be embraced. What are some amazing differences that can be found in you? Wait, this is what this book means to me. I think other people can be different in many different ways. And I think that it is okay for everyone to be different.